A minor crash snowballed into a major traffic incident on Interstate 85 North in Kannapolis. After a small collision occurred near exit 60 for Dale Earnhardt Boulevard, dozens of tractor trailers had to slow down to attempt to maneuver around it. However, the slowdown chilled the roads. Over 30 tractor trailers and more than 70 cars were trapped on the highway, according to North Carolina state troopers. Due to the freezing temperatures and inches of snowfall, the large trucks couldn't gain enough momentum to move along, keeping traffic at a glacial pace. The National Guard was called in to assist in clearing the roads. 6 National Guard trucks were called, along with several large trucks from Cabarrus and surrounding counties. About 3 hours after WCNC Charlotte initially reported the pileup, traffic began to move again, around 8:40 p.m. The road was reopened around 9:30 p.m., but traffic impacts were still expected to be high. North Carolina State Highway Patrol has also reported that troopers have responded to 750 collisions from 12 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday. North Carolina Highway Patrol and the National Guard responded Saturday evening after weather conditions forced a portion of Interstate 85 to be shut down, leaving dozens of motorists stranded. Around 4:34 p.m., state troopers responded to a non-injury collision on I-85 North near mile marker 62 in Cabarrus County, involving a semi-truck and a Jeep. This collision caused a significant backup for northbound traffic on I-85, and due to the steady snowfall, more than 100 vehicles, including dozens of semi-trucks, became immobilized in the heightened snow. At 6:30 p.m., the city of Kannapolis announced that I-85 is shut down between the Dale Earnhardt Boulevard exit, 60, and the Lane Street exit, 63, due to weather conditions. As of 8:20 p.m., Highway Patrol is working with crews from the North Carolina Department of Transportation and North Carolina National Guard to help remove stranded vehicles and clear the roadway. Troopers urge viewers and motorists to refrain from attempting to travel on this portion of I-85, as it is anticipated to take hours to clear the roadway. A representative for Kannapolis said in a social media post, "Please heed our warnings. Shelter in place. Get off the roads. Streets are impassable. Too many people think they can drive in this weather and they cannot." This incident comes after the city reported more than 10 inches of snow. Kannapolis is about 24 miles northeast of Charlotte. Meanwhile, snowfall in New Bern has led people to head inside and businesses to close their doors. Earlier today, people were seen left and right outside, but as snow started to pile up and visibility lowered, they went back indoors. A bartender at Pirates Cove in downtown New Bern said they decided to close early around noon and will also be closed tomorrow. Another employee there had a friend pick them up, Rashawn Hickman, who says that paying close attention to the road boundaries is how he stays safe when he has to go out in conditions like this. Instead of driving straight down the middle for 2 lanes, you gauge it by the plow going through. I look at it and think, the plow went this way, so it's going to be a little extra right here maybe, a foot to the side, Hickman said. Being extra aware of your surroundings was something everyone had to do this afternoon as the snow came down.
All right, give it a shot.
Right now, with snow piling on the roads, driving is extremely difficult, and visibility decreases as it gets darker outside. Officials are advising the public not to drive unless necessary, as many road signs also recommend. A winter storm that blanketed Craven County brought more than a foot of snow, high winds, and sub-freezing temperatures to the area Saturday and Sunday. The amount of snow is the most the area has received since the blizzard of 1989, the largest snowstorm in history for the southeast U.S. coast. It snowed the 2 days prior to Christmas, and while the official records for New Bern show 6.2 inches on December 23rd and 2.6 on December 24th, many people measured much more in their areas, 12 to 15 inches and higher. By 1 p.m. Sunday, the National Weather Service reported 17 inches of snow in New Bern, 15.5 inches in Trent Woods, 14.2 inches in Bridgeton, and 14 inches in Vanceboro. James City was hit with 18 inches, and Havelock received 12 inches by Saturday night. Pamlico County received as much as 19 inches of snow, reported Sunday morning in Olympia. Due to heavy snow and drifts as deep as 4 to 5 feet, emergency service responses were delayed in some areas of Pamlico County on Saturday and Sunday, according to Pamlico County Emergency Management. Many roads were impassable Saturday. A state of emergency was declared in Craven County, starting at 5 p.m. Friday. Pamlico County also declared a state of emergency on Saturday. Commissioner Denny Bucher, chairman of the Craven County Board of Commissioners, encouraged residents to remain vigilant and remain home to allow first responders and others working the storm a chance to clear roads and respond to emergencies. The city of New Bern opened a warming station and shelter, operated by the American Red Cross, that helped area residents, including 4 who checked in Sunday afternoon, said Shane Digan, Craven County Public Information Officer. Religious Community Services also operated a warming station Saturday and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., said Anne-Marie Devaney, Chief Communications Officer for the nonprofit. Devaney said the hours were set to coordinate with the opening and closing of its emergency shelter to ensure the shelter was available for people in need of a warm place to stay. Digan said the Emergency Operations Center and 911 Center were in full operation Saturday and Sunday, but some responses to calls were delayed due to road conditions. As of Sunday morning, the NC Department of Transportation reported that primary and secondary roads in Craven County were covered with snow and ice. On Sunday morning, New Bern Mayor Jeffrey Autumn said no car crashes were reported overnight in the city. Craven County experienced isolated power outages throughout the county during the weekend, but no major outages were reported, Digan said. The city of New Bern reported 849 power outages Sunday evening due to malfunctioning equipment, with electricity restored in 2 hours. The city also reported 85 power outages Monday morning in the Greenbrier community. Craven County schools closed Monday and will operate on a remote learning schedule Tuesday. Coastal Carolina Regional Airport closed Saturday, as staff worked to clear approximately 20 inches of snow. The airport remained closed Sunday until conditions improve for safe travel. Temperatures will improve this week with a high of 43 degrees Tuesday and a low of 31 degrees overnight. The high on Wednesday is predicted to rise to 47 degrees, the NWS reports. The record-breaking snowstorm in North Carolina caused more than 1,000 collisions, which included 2 fatalities and a traffic jam involving more than 100 vehicles, North Carolina Governor Josh Stein said during a press conference Sunday. The historic amount of snow also caused more than 10,000 power outages across the state. Stein said roads remain dangerous and likely will be bad for days to come. For your own safety and for the safety of the people clearing the roads, please stay at home if you possibly can, Stein said. This is no joke. Some cities in North Carolina experienced the heaviest snowfall in decades while still recovering from last week's storm. There are significantly more vehicles on the roads this weekend compared to last, said State Transportation Secretary Daniel Johnson. Because of that, we've seen several roadway incidents across the state that were completely preventable. Fire crews are responding to a house fire in Nags Head, a town on the Outer Banks off the coast of eastern North Carolina, as a historic snowstorm brings strong winds and freezing conditions. The home, in the 4,500 block of South Virginia Dare Trail, was unoccupied, and no injuries have been reported, Nags Head Fire and Rescue said in a Facebook post. The bulk of the fire has been contained and the cause remains under investigation. Officials thanked mutual aid partners for working in freezing, snowy conditions, highlighting the extra challenges first responders face during the storm. Meanwhile, Florida's record cold temperatures can cause reptiles and amphibians, including iguanas, to temporarily lose muscle control and appear frozen, sometimes even falling out of trees, according to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. But, Floridians, if you were worried about the paralyzed iguana in your backyard, relax. An executive order by the FWC provides a unique opportunity for people in South and Southwest Florida to remove frozen green iguanas from the wild without a permit and bring them to one of FWC's offices, the organization announced in a press release Friday. The FWC will collect iguanas to humanely kill the invasive species or transfer them to live animal sales. Invasive species management is a high priority for the FWC because these animals negatively impact native fish and wildlife, cause damage that is costly to repair, and can pose a threat to human health and safety, the organization said. Do not bring frozen iguanas into your home to warm up, the FWC warns, because they can recover quickly and act defensively. Instead, put the iguana in a breathable cloth sack or bag that can securely shut, and bring the iguana to FWC as soon as possible. The organization also advises people collecting iguanas to wear protective gloves, pants, and long-sleeve shirts to prevent scratches. The rhythmic sounds of the Atlantic surf have been replaced by an eerie, muffled silence as Morehead City and the surrounding Crystal Coast wake up to a landscape buried under a historic blanket of white. A powerful winter storm, which intensified over the weekend of January 31st to February 1st, 2026, has shattered decades-old weather records and brought one of North Carolina's most prominent fishing ports to a complete standstill. According to the National Weather Service, NWS, Newport/Morehead City office, the storm delivered a staggering 15 inches of snow to the local area, with some parts of Carteret County reporting accumulations up to 16 inches. To put this in perspective, this single event has exceeded the total snowfall seen in this region over the last 3 decades combined. The storm officially met blizzard criteria in nearby Beaufort and along the Morehead City waterfront, as sustained winds of 35 miles per hour and heavy snowfall reduced visibility to less than a quarter mile for several consecutive hours. Mayor and local officials have declared a state of emergency, which remains in effect as of Monday, February 2nd. Residents are urged to stay off the roads to allow NCDOT crews to prioritize clearing Highway 70 and essential bridges. This is not the beach weather we are used to, said a spokesperson for the Carteret County Sheriff's Office. Our primary concern right now is the extreme cold following the snow, with temperatures dropping to 28 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 2 degrees Celsius, and wind chills making it feel like 19 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 7 degrees Celsius. The moisture on the roads is turning into lethal black ice. The weight of the heavy, wet snow, rare for this coastal climate, has caused several power outages across the county. Duke Energy Progress reported that crews are working through deep drifts to restore power to hundreds of homes currently without heat. All Carteret County public schools and local government offices are closed today. The Atlantic Beach Bridge and the Morehead City High-Rise Bridge have experienced intermittent closures due to ice accumulation and high winds. Commercial fishing vessels in the port of Morehead City are currently docked, with many crews working to clear heavy snow from decks to prevent stability issues. The iconic Arundel Street looks more like a ski resort than a coastal thoroughfare. While the sight of palm trees drooping under heavy snow has provided a surreal backdrop for photography, the practical reality is a logistical challenge. Local hardware stores reported a total sellout of shovels and ice melt days before the first flake fell. The forecast for Tuesday, February 3rd, shows a slight warming trend with temperatures reaching 46 degrees Fahrenheit, 8 degrees Celsius. However, meteorologists warn of a dangerous cycle. Snow will melt during the afternoon sun, only to refreeze into a solid sheet of ice overnight as temperatures dip back below freezing. A secondary, weaker system is being monitored for Wednesday night, which could bring a wintry mix of rain and light snow, potentially complicating recovery efforts. Meanwhile, while Myrtle Beach doesn't have a long-standing system of tracking snowfall, the National Weather Service has developed estimates dating back to 1940. To compile this database, the NWS researched snowfall totals from Federal Aviation Administration and U.S. Air Force records. They also examined Myrtle Beach airport documents, NWS records, and newspaper reports to create an unofficial snowfall climatology for Myrtle Beach. What that database shows is that, prior to the latest storm, Myrtle Beach had seen just 82.4 inches of snow combined since 1940. The highest accumulations came in 1983, 7 inches, 1973, 9 inches, and the record-smashing 14 inches that arrived just before Christmas in 1989.
We made it outside.
Forecasters say the reason the Grand Strand rarely becomes a winter wonderland is because the combination of cold air and moisture needed for snow is difficult to get with the warm winds coming off the ocean. Crews have been working to clear snowy roads in the Myrtle Beach area, and officials are urging residents to stay home until driving conditions improve. There have been no reports of storm-related bridge or road closures, but there have been multiple car crashes countywide. 5 wrecks have been reported in the city of Myrtle Beach since 4 p.m. January 31st, city spokeswoman Meredith Denari said. None of the crashes involved deaths or major injuries, but she said some roads are icy and dangerous. It is very slick out, Denari said, and we are asking residents to continue to stay home and not drive. The State Department of Transportation has been working to clear main routes, but secondary roads likely have more snow cover, Horry County government spokesman Thomas Bell said. With the county expected to see freezing temperatures again overnight, any water left on roadways could turn to ice. This is a significant event anytime there's snowfall in Horry County, no matter how much falls, Bell said. We just want people to enjoy it safely, make good decisions, and certainly the safety issue when it comes to refreezing tonight will be something we want folks to heed. Road conditions in Georgetown County are also hazardous, and officials there have also encouraged residents not to drive. Surfboards and trash can lids became sleds. February 1st, as families gathered on a small hill at the Market Commons Valor Memorial Garden to take advantage of a rare opportunity to go sledding in Myrtle Beach. Lori Coles stood at the bottom of the hill catching her grandkids as they came flying down the gentle slope on plastic storage bin lids. This was an essential job, considering a large pond sat on the other side of her, and they didn't want anyone to end up taking a swim in frigid water. Coles and her daughter, Alyssa Mims, laughed as the kids came tumbling down on their makeshift sleds. The snow was worn down to mud and grass in some spots, but no one cared. On the hill, the kids were geared up in rain boots and snow-soaked gloves. The family has been in Myrtle Beach for 20 years and said they have only seen snow a few times. Mims grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and got to experience snow and sledding every winter there. Mims was glad to see her kids get that opportunity too. She said her kids were so excited they were counting down the days until the winter storm arrived. It couldn't come soon enough for them, Mims said. Even in a snowstorm, the show must go on. That was the number at the NRG Dance Project competition at the Myrtle Beach Convention Center on February 1st, after 5 inches fell and stranded about 500 participants and their families. While most all scheduled events along the Grand Strand were postponed ahead of the winter storm, the music played on for the NRG staff and teams from around the Southeast. The 4-day event kicked off January 29th, before many of the weather models agreed on the forecast. The teams were already in town, so we decided it was best to move forward, NRG General Manager Melissa Langston said. Most of our teams are from the region and couldn't drive home, so they're enjoying dancing and playing in the snow. Some are seeing snow for the first time. After Saturday night's session, Langston said the dance teams emerged from the main hall to see it snowing sideways. Many of the participants, ages 4 through 18, dashed outside for makeshift snowball fights and to make snow angels, while the LA-based NRG staff watched on in awe. Everybody is making the most of it, said NRG faculty member Eva Mitchell, thanking the convention center and adjoining Sheraton Hotel for working with them. The workers were out shoveling the sidewalks all night, and they offered extended group rates to those who need to stay longer. Some convention center staff members also spent the night at the venue to avoid driving in hazardous conditions and to make sure the dance competition went off without a hitch. We come to Myrtle Beach in the summer, but this is a first, said Lisa Turner, who brought her daughter Katie from Pooler, Georgia. We're probably going to stay over another night until it clears up. It's not very often you get to see snow on the beach. Camera in hand, Christian Elia arrived at the Conway River Walk just after sunrise. He wanted to see the snow. "Magical," he said as he stood near the blanketed banks of the Waccamaw River. "It's completely ethereal out here." Forecasters said the Myrtle Beach area received about 3 to 6 inches of accumulation, but inland communities and those closest to the North Carolina border got more. The storm was expected to be out of the region by 9 a.m. The North Strand saw some power outages, but Santee Cooper reported that most of those issues had been addressed. Just over 1,100 of the utility's customers were without power as of 8:30 a.m., according to Santee Cooper's outage map. At one time, about 4,000 customers there had no electricity. Communities near the North Carolina border saw the most snow overnight. There were reports of 8 inches in North Myrtle Beach and 7 inches in Loris, said Jordan Baker, a meteorologist with the National Weather Service. Myrtle Beach received about 5 inches, and Murrells Inlet saw about 5.5 inches. The real winners were just either right along the state line or just north of it, Baker said, adding that the storm dumped snow in southeastern North Carolina. A pretty heavy band set up, and there were some totals in excess of a foot there. The southern end of the Grand Strand didn't see as much snow. Baker said the NWS had not received many reports from Georgetown early February 1st, but radar indicated about 2 inches fell there.
All the way down here at home, and there's a rate. I want the world.